Okay, welcome to another exciting installment of the Terrorisk podcast. I am joined today by my good friend Adam Morel.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yep. So today's episode, we got a theme going. Today's theme is going to be consistency, and how if you're trying to do something, all you really got to do is just be consistent. You know, whether it's podcasting or cooking or virtually any kind of content creation, or like martial arts or sports. You really just got to keep consistent. Now, here's the thing: if you're bad at it, if you're bad at this particular thing you're trying to do, just be consistent. Just show up, and the progress will be incremental at first, but it builds off of itself to the point where it becomes exponential. Like there's a saying, try to be 1% better than yesterday. And if you do that every day for a whole year, you're 37 times better than you were than when you started. So yeah, just become 1% better than the day before, and it's all about consistency.
Mm-hmm. You know what they say, right? It's repetition is the mother of skill. So if you're consistent,
who says that?
I don't know.
It's a good saying.
It's a good phrase, but I don't know who said that. But I was like, wow, this makes a lot of sense. Because in anything that you do, you're not going to get better by not doing it. You're only going to get better by continuously doing it.
100%. Yeah, you gotta strike out before you learn how to hit homers.
Mm-hmm. And it's like I don't understand what people's fear of failure is, because it's going to happen. It's either you pass or you fail. Whatever it is, it's a part of life.
I understand it. I could explain it, why people would fear failure like that.
Why?
Imagine you're like a upper middle. You grew up as an upper middle class white kid.
Mm-hmm.
Economically speaking, your life prospects are going to be more abundant than people outside of your specific demographic, right?
Mm-hmm. Naturally
speaking, people who nurture life or who grow up in that kind of environment, they're going to be more inclined to push this idea where you're special. You're talented. You're meant for great things. You're meant for this. Imagine, you're being told that your whole life, and then suddenly reality comes and just gut checks you, and you realize no, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if your mother loves you. What matters is you're just like everyone else. You're just as much of a piece of shit as the next one. And if you're sitting there just expecting rare and valuable things and experiences from life, then you got to offer something rare and valuable. And you're not going to find, that rare and valuable thing to offer just by being like everyone else, which means you got to do things that other people aren't willing to do, which means you're going to have to subject yourself to discomfort, which means you're going to have to stop being a little bitch about being uncomfortable and actually do the hard thing, at the end of the day.
And I think a lot of that also comes from no, I'm good, thank you. It's just they're raised in an environment that has basically lied to them since birth.
Yeah, and that's not entirely their fault. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now if they're adults, legal adults, then yeah, it is their fault.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like they didn't decide to end up in that kind of position, which is I sympathize with. And the only reason why I understand it is because I spent a lot of time contrasting that kind of experience to my own.
Right.
When you're growing up an Asian, there is no such thing as positive reinforcement. You're not special. You're an Asian. You're a piece of shit. Even for my son or my grandchild, no. You better learn the whole fucking multiplication table before you're 6 years old. Otherwise, you're dead to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of environment that Asians grow up with.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Yeah, I can see that being a big issue.
Yeah, so I could see the difference. I'm you're like this because you grew up with love and caring and understanding and compassion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more successful than you, and I got a better head on my shoulders because I grew up with nothing but criticism and unmanageable standards. Unreasonable standards for a child. But because of that, I learned that nobody ever achieves their dreams, and you just the only benefit to reaching for the stars is when you ultimately whiff it and fail and you fall. At least you land on the clouds,
Well, there's an attempt there, and that's more that can be said about other people.
That too.
And it's okay, there should be a balance. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be critical about people that you care about, because I think that's a very important component. And I'll give you an example. If you are my friend and I see you fucking up, I am not going to let you fuck up without letting you know, like, hey, you're fucking up. Because I think I'm telling you that because I want you to get better. At least that's how I see it in my mind. If I didn't give a fuck about you, I wouldn't say anything.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of people take offense to that. Oh, why you always on my ass, this and that. It's like, bro, you fucking up. I'm not going to let one of my homies fuck up. I want you to get better, and I want you to stop doing the thing that you're doing that's fucking you up.
Yeah.
And some people take it the wrong way, and then, it is what it is, unfortunately. And then, things might, you might not be friends with that person, but at the end of the day, I tried to help you, and you didn't want to see it that way. That's okay. I tried.
It's also, I think, like who they take it from. For example, like let's say we're dealing with people that we've known for years and years, right? And maybe like years ago when you were all kids at a specific age, at a previous time in life, everyone was doing stupid shit.
Yeah.
Everyone was doing the same stupid shit, right?
Naturally.
But then everyone gets older and some people stop doing the stupid shit, other people keep doing the stupid shit, right? And that kind of hurts because, you expect, since we all did the same stupid shit, we would all end up in the same way, like as adults. But then, you grow up and you realize some of your friends grew out of it. And that's gonna rub you in a way, you're gonna be like, shit, especially when those same people, I would do that, I would be like, yo, I know we used to do the same stupid shit, but you eventually got to grow the fuck up. And I could see why that's hard for them to take because they're like, yo, who the fuck are you? You were doing the same exact shit that we were doing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but eventually I stopped and eventually I changed. That's what you have to do. The fact is you're in this mess right now because you refuse to change. You're too stubborn to admit that what you're doing isn't exactly working out the way you thought it would long term. And that's something that's really hard for everyone on both sides because on one end you have to understand people have feelings and people are going to feel a type of way about being wrong. Being wrong never feels nice, and it's going to take a minute for different people to own up to that, to really take into consideration my own actions and my own inaction is what really put me here, and nothing is going to remind you of that more than your friend who's doing a little better than you.
Yeah. I guess I see that now. I think I view it in a different way because, if somebody's criticizing me and I can tell when they're being an asshole or they're genuinely giving me criticism, I take it as a net positive because that is something that I can now work on to improve myself. And I think everybody should be working on to improve themselves day by day. Like you said, 1% better at the end of the year, you'll be, X amount better.
But you mentioned something different. What you mentioned was taking criticism. Now, the thing about taking criticism, this is how I decided for myself. It's like, I know what it's like to take criticism, and I know what it's like to dish it out. And here's what I've discovered is people will have a lot more to say to you if you give out criticism. If you're in a shitty position in life, just like them. If you're at the same level and you criticize, and they could easily say, well, you're no better. It's only when you're at a higher place, a better place, and you give someone criticism, it's maybe they'll forget that, and they'll try to bluff their way and be like, oh, well, who the fuck are you to tell me advice? And then you could really quickly correct them. It's like, well, first of all, you're the one with the problems here. You're the one who's fucking asking me for favors to help you out with your bullshit. You're the one making bad decisions. You're the one who's closing yourself off from the actual solutions. You're the one who keeps repeating the same mistakes over and over again. So at the end of the day, yeah, I have every right to fucking criticize you. And if you can't take it, then we don't have to be friends anymore. And that's where it's that push comes to shove moment where it's the chips are down. Now it's material. Now you can't run away from the truth, which is you're an idiot. You could not be an idiot. You don't have to be an idiot, but the way you're acting betrays the behavior of an idiot. So it's your choice to keep doing that or not. And then it's deeper than that even still, because then they have to consider, well, why do I keep making the wrong decisions? And that's a really personal thing for everybody. Yeah. And everyone's going to reconcile with that in their own pace. But yeah, it's generally the same pattern. It's you make bad decisions. Well, why do you make bad decisions? Oh shit, that's a good question. That's really it for everybody. And then from there, it's generally oh, well, now it's do I accept the bad decisions that I make? Am I going to stop beating myself up and just take chances and do my very best? And generally speaking, people end up better.
Or the opposite, where they acknowledge that they keep making bad decisions,
And then just
they
lean
don't.
into that. It's like, well, I'm a piece of shit, so what's the
Yeah,
point in
I'm
trying?
gonna keep doing the bad decisions.
And those are the people that you got to deal with, because like there was no one, because they, first of all, the former is rare. Like the former, the people who choose to make the right decision, they're rare. It's true. Like most people, more often than not, will really lean into their worst tendencies and just like repeat mistakes, repeat patterns, because it's comfortable. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
very
going to say like
comfortable.
I'm immune to it. I could just as
Everybody's
easily,
done it.
yeah, I could easily just as do that. You know, like I could just as easily do that. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so consistency. Consistency is key. If you're gonna be a piece of shit, be consistent. If you're gonna be better than a piece of shit, be consistent about it. You know, like you can't have it both ways.
Some people try, but it doesn't work.
Yeah. What else do I have to be consistent about? I mean, martial arts. Definitely, that's something like you start off. You're like, oh, you come wide eyed and you just say, I just have to give it dedication and dedication. But the more time you put into it, I could easily see how, if you don't see immediate results, that could really drain your spirit, especially if you're an adult, because you have to pay money, and you
Yeah.
have to pay time, and you have to pay energy. You're taking out time, you're taking out energy. You probably quit cigarettes too, because that would be stupid at that point. Like, you know, you make changes to your lifestyle to accommodate this thing you've invested in to make yourself better. And like, you know, that's where competition comes into play, and you could really like materially see where you stack up against people who are also doing the same thing. And like it pushes you. It either pushes you or sinks you. That tests your willpower. And if you don't have strong willpower and you don't see your tangible results, and you see people who got into it like after you beating you, it's gonna hit your self-esteem, and then you're just gonna be like, fuck. Most people would give up at that point. They're like, well, I guess this is just not for me, but I'm not most people. So.
Yeah, I definitely don't believe in quitting at all. Like it just in anything in life, I just don't subscribe to that.
Well, it's also, well, the way I see it, I think quitting would be like the rational thing to do most of the time, because rationally you're taking into consideration material benefits, and you're like, see, if I keep this going, this is just going to cost me more and more, and there's still no real guarantee that I'm going to get ever where I want to be. Whereas like, you know, people like me, I grew up like watching a lot of anime, like shonen anime, so I'm always going to like believe in myself, and like, you know, doing the right thing and all that shit. Also, this is why I think anime is a force for good. I mean, there's plenty of arguments that could point out to the many reasons why anime is bad and bad for humanity. You know, some people get lost in the sauce.
Yeah.
But if you don't get lost in the sauce and actually use the sauce to really flavor your life in the right ways, then it's going to be all the better for it, you know? Like, you know, all right, let me give an example. Like Naruto taught me that even if everyone just fucking hates you by, you know, factors outside of your control, you still got to try. You know,
Yeah.
you still got to fucking give it your best and still strive to do the right thing. And you still have to have dreams. You know, you still have to have goals despite that.
Yeah.
Then you could show everyone. It's like you get the satisfaction of proving everyone wrong. That's also nice.
That's one way of
Yo,
putting
did
it.
you watch Kuroko no Basketball?
I didn't. I said I was going to, but this whole
You
weekend
bitch.
was like fucking crazy for me. So
I can't
didn't
even
get
watch that sort of thing. That's something you got to watch alone. Like, you know what? You know what I'll do? I'll give you like a couple of edibles to save them, take them with you, and you only eat them when you're about to watch. And you'll get so into, you'll be like, whoa. You'll get in the zone.
The Zone. I love that part of the show.
Just watch the fucking show, man.
Yeah, I will. I will. It's just this week was a little crazy for me.
Why? What happened?
Just so much work. Like, so somebody at work had either a stroke or something, and they didn't know where they were. He was missing for
Was
several
it a
days.
colleague or like a client?
A colleague.
Oh,
So,
shit.
Yeah, so like my boss had to deal with his wife because he didn't have an answer to give you. She was like, "Where the fuck is he? Where the fuck is he?" I don't know. I sent him out to a location to work.
He had dementia.
No, he had like a heart attack or something, and it's like, "Where is he?" Like, well, his car is still parked over here. We don't see his body. We have no idea. Apparently, he was in the hospital, and he had a heart attack or a stroke or whatever, and he's been in a coma since.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so he hasn't woken up. So because of that, I have to cover his shifts throughout the week now. So my week is a little insane because of that. And, you know, hopefully, I hope he does wake up, but he's still in the hospital. He is not woken up from his coma.
What's his ethnicity?
I believe he's black.
All right.
And yeah, he.
I mean, it was completely irrelevant. I was just purely curious. That's just
Yeah.
to satiate my curiosity.
No, it's all right.
What
It's
is
like,
he? Is he like 40s, mid 40s, 50s?
he must be in his late 40s, I want to say.
All right, that makes sense. All right, I'm
And,
I'm profiling here. You know, I'm doing my mental profiling.
Nah, he's a cool dude, and
Of course, yeah. He works with music. He's got to be a chill, cool dude.
and not only that, he's also a DJ. So he does like DJ classes
yeah,
as well.
he gets all jazzy with it. Yeah, I get it.
So yeah, because of that incident, I've had to like take more shifts throughout the week and try to cover it, because like those hours that he works for are like contracted, so they have to be covered. Like they have to happen throughout the week. So I can't just like, oh well, he's in the hospital. Like they have to be covered.
For sure. I
It
mean,
sucks.
I just found like the best way to succeed in any occupation is just don't be a liability. That's really the trick. Like, I don't care what job you're in. I don't care what field you're in. You will do good in your job if you just don't be a liability. Now, what do I mean by being a liability? Imagine you're a business owner and you had employees under you. What would they do? What are the things that employees do that makes themselves that would make themselves a liability? Now, some things I could think of is like, oh, taking days off work that aren't scheduled. That would make them a liability, because now I have to like dip into other people's time and ask for favors essentially just to like fill in that gap to appease them. That makes them a liability, especially if that's a tendency to do that. Another thing, if they break shit, like fuck up on the job that costs me money where I have to replace things, that makes them a liability, because I'm losing out on revenue if I have to cut away a bit of that just to fix their mistakes. That's a liability. Another thing, if they bring drama, amongst coworkers, like if they keep having sex with each other or other coworkers, and then they break morale, within the work, within your team, and then all of a sudden like people aren't doing their jobs as effective because they're distracted by like drama going on. But that makes them a liability. So I think my advice for anyone who's just working any job, just do your best not to become a liability. And like, you would think this is like, duh. But like, I go on social media and I would look at like people's posts about like, the things and how they perceive their work. And I'm like, and then the things they bitch about, they're like, oh, ha ha ha, my boss should understand that my best friend is going through her second engagement party and blah, blah, blah. And it's very important to her. And she's got, it's like, Jesus Christ, it's like, so I don't know. That's why I would say it's like, yo, dude, just don't be a liability.
Common sense isn't so common anymore. It's rare now.
Just be the opposite of a liability. You know what the opposite of a liability is? An asset. If you become an asset more than you are a liability, wherever you work, you will do fine. And the reason why people don't like actively try to become assets within their field is because they don't want to. They're working. It's either they don't want to,
or they're working a job they don't want to be at to begin with.
They don't. All right. See, everyone's working a job that they don't want to be in. That's the truth. So really, what it comes down to is they just haven't tricked themselves into enjoying the process of working a job they hate.
Well, I can say that I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy the work that I do.
All right. Listen. If you didn't have to pay for anything in your life, would you still be working at that job?
So, yes and no.
No, that's just a no. I'm gonna take that as
no.
It's a no,
I'll explain why. Because I would do these things anyway, not in the manner that I'm doing it right now.
I'm not talking about like, what you would do, like how you would spend your time unemployed. I mean, like, would you still call yourself an employee at this organization if you didn't have to pay for anything in your life?
If I just did it for the fun of it, in other words. What I'm currently doing right now, if I would do it just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
That answer
would you invest the same amount of time you invested now just for the fun of it?
Yes.
Really?
I'd say yes.
You would do this 5 days a week just for the fun of it?
Because I love being in the studio. I love doing that kind of work.
But is that
it's not work to me.
But isn't what you're doing most of the time like educating as opposed to actually producing or making your own thing?
So I have two jobs. So I have one in the studio and one that's educating.
What do you spend more time doing? Educating or like
in the studio?
In the studio?
Because the education thing is only like a few hours.
All right, see, I didn't know that. I thought your primary work was mostly education.
Nah, my primary work is in the studio, and that's that's what I've been doing for the most part. Like
because like, I was thinking, like honestly, like I would hate to be a fucking teacher. Like that's just not my bag.
See,
like,
that's the benefit of like doing this thing. I'm not a teacher. I'm just like an instructor for children. You know.
Yeah.
So it's not my job to be like 9 to 4, 8 to whatever 3. That's not me. I just show up in the after school program. And then
I feel like being an instructor for adults is way easier.
It is easier.
Because the adults know they're paying for this. So they try harder. It's like they see this as an investment they need to capitalize on. Otherwise, they're just wasting money.
Yeah. And with kids, it's like you have to find ways to like trick them to like be engaged.
Because it's their parents that are investing, not them. That's what happened to me with piano lessons. I just couldn't get into it because I was like, I did not give a shit. I wasn't the one paying. It wasn't until later on in life when I was like, oh shit, that was actually pretty valuable. Like,
I went through the same fucking thing. So my dad, his whole family is filled with musicians.
Yeah.
Or at least somebody who's musically inclined. And I remember when I was a kid, he gave me this expensive ass Casio keyboard, like a fucking electronic keyboard that you'd have to use batteries or plug it in.
Yeah.
And he gave me this thing, and I just looked at it and like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? I don't know how to use this. All my life, he's been giving me like musical stuff to like play around and like mess around with, but I wasn't interested in it, and I just wanted to play video games.
Yeah.
But now I realize as I'm an adult, wow, he was trying to push me in the right direction. And now I realize exactly what it is that I wanted to do. I wanted to involve my life around music in some way. And the way that I arrived to that point is like, okay, I know I'm technologically inclined, but I don't want to do, computer engineering or something like that. I also love music, but I don't want to be just a musician. So I basically merged those two ideas, and that's how I got to audio engineering.
Word.
That's what brings
me
joy
what?
in
Yeah,
my life.
You're right. It really was the video games that did it for me because, like, when I think of my development as like, a person who was like really into music, I was always into like, anime and video games and sci-fi and shit. Probably more so than my friends were because I was an Asian kid. Asian kids are just more. I don't know why. I'm not trying to be racist. It's just Asian kids just like, like techie shit. They just do.
I mean, look at the countries that they come from. It's really like it's techie shit. If you're Korean or South Korean or Japanese, that's what you're around. Like they've always been at the forefront of having tech shit all around. Even like in their subway systems is way more advanced than what we have here.
So like with music, I think what really unlocked it, like when I when I played like just instruments, I always thought like, this is cool. Like I just want to play on stage and fucking rock out, that's sick. But then once I think something activated specific neurons. It's when I went to my first rave, took some ecstasy, and like really like experienced that like what was going on and like everything, not just the music, but like the visual element, the setting, and all that shit. And I understood like it just like my perspective of music blew up. It went from something you just perform for a crowd of people to like a whole world you could create within the confines of a few hours, and that like resonates for the rest of a person's life. Like shit like that. That's what made me really interested in electronic music because I already knew about like band music, analog music, instrumental music. I love that, and I loved hip hop too, which is interesting too in itself because since I loved hip hop, I didn't recognize at the time like how pervasive like electronic music production was within the realm of hip hop since the very beginning.
It is.
And DJing and shit, right? But that whole rave experience was the missing piece because like I had the music, I had the musical upbringing, I had the friends to play with, but it wasn't like to me it most like before the rave, I just felt like a kid, like with his nose pressed against the window of a candy shop. I was like, I didn't feel like I was inside yet because I feel like there was still something missing. And all my friends, they never even been to a rave, but they already felt like very like in tune with music, or maybe it seemed that way at least.
Yeah.
But then when I went to the rave, it all clicked. I was like, holy shit. Okay, I understand everything now. Not like objective, like everything about music, just everything that I was supposed to do. Like I understood. I was like, okay. Because before I understood what it was like to go to a rave on ecstasy, like I was playing video games. I was, watching a lot of anime. I was super into sci-fi. I was already into that element of like technology and electronic and music. So it's like once I went to the rave, it all just came together. I was like, okay, You know,
This is what it's all for.
but you know what? I also went to the rave and I never forgot about where I came from. So it was always like, you know, it was always this blend. It wasn't always like just solely, it's like, oh yeah, I forget about like, you know, analog music and playing guitar and stuff. It's like, no, I mean, that's still very much a part of like my perspective on music. It's just, you know, it just feels more broader now, you know, now
Right.
that I'm not really focusing specifically on just, you know, trying to encapsulate this feeling or method that's already been done before. Now I feel like I could actually do things that haven't been done before, you know?
So let me ask you a question, because this is something that I've spoken to other people about.
Sure.
Musical autonomy.
Yeah.
So when you were growing up, what was the kind of music that was in your surroundings?
That was in my surroundings. So the first music I was actually taught to really get into was like 80s music.
80s music, okay.
Was because when I was like a young kid, the adults in my life were like people in my dad and my aunt's generation. They were all like 80s kids pretty much.
And let me interrupt you. How old were you at that time?
Growing up from like the age 1 to like the age 10. That's when I was
So
like
1
a kid.
to 10, okay.
Yeah.
So they were listening to 80s music. So can you describe what that 80s music is about? Like what kind of artist or what kind of style of music was that?
Okay. It was a very synth heavy. A lot of it was electronic drums, right? A lot of it was about love ballads too, like slow songs like "Love Is a Battle," like that smoky voice kind of shit. A lot of it was like Euro trashy like beats, like "Don't say your love is," you know, like shit like that. Like some of it, and a lot of it actually was mad rockin'. You know, a lot of it was, but I don't really like 80s rock. I really don't. I'm sorry.
Right, yeah.
I just
And listen, I feel the same way. However, there are some things that I do like, but, you know, I digress. So right now, as an adult,
Yeah.
looking back, how does that reflect on your current musical taste?
I understand 4 to the floor beats. I understand the kick heavy thump 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 as opposed to like an actual like doom doom doom. You know, like I understand that they both carry the beat in their own different way, very very different ways. And I also understand that synths are awesome. You know,
Yes,
I don't shy away from electronically produced sounds. I love it. I fully embrace it. At the same time, I also think songs about love are dope because love is such a complex and like intangible topic that no one's ever really going to fully get 100%. Which so you know, there's always going to be material to work out of, and it's very contextual too. So. I also like cheesy shit in music. I think there's room for cheese. You know, I don't think all music has to be like pure 100% novelty. I think you could just have some like crazy jam and cheese, you know, like, and that's okay. And I also learned repetition is okay. You know, like jazz guys will probably like scoff at the idea, but I like repetition, you know, like sometimes when used well and when it's not like dragging on, I think repetition is very important, you know, especially with dance music because dancing, you have to have that hypnotic element of repetition. So yeah, those are some of the things. Oh, and also my preference of working with female vocalists. I'm sorry, it's because to me the 80s' most prolific singers were probably female in my eyes.
Yeah, probably.
So that's why I prefer working. I just like the range. I just like the timbre, the texture of the vocal range. I love it. So that's why I would always prefer to work with a female vocalist.
And at what age did you start seeking out like music on your own besides like the ones that were being played by like your parents or your surroundings?
I would have to say when I was like in my adolescence, like 11 or 12, 13.
Okay.
Because like that's when I started watching like anime with sick music that like I was like, holy shit, this is actually crazy. Like, how did they think of this shit? I think another thing that really, this is going to be embarrassing, but one thing that really woke me up to music, to seeking out music, was the theme song to Kingdom Hearts. Simple and Clean
yes.
by Utada Hikaru.
That is a very memorable piece
when I
of
first
music.
heard that, it was like my sexual awakening for music. You know, like I was like, holy shit! It blew me away. I was because I never like started up a video. First of all, like the actual like reason why I would hear that song just blew me away. Like I never like started up a game I really wanted to play and heard like some banger. I was like, holy shit, this is a banger. So that's crazy too.
Yeah.
You know, like. So yeah, like once I heard that, because that song really is the synthesis of like everything I grew up with. It
Yeah,
was
you got
jamming,
anime,
it was synth,
video
it was
game
like
music.
yeah, it was everything, and it had the nostalgia feel of like Disney characters because I grew up with Disney too. So I
Yeah.
was like, it was basically meant for me. Like that
Yes.
whole experience was basically meant for me, and I was like, shit, this is fucking crazy. Like
God bless Tetsuo Nomura.
what, like he made that happen, and that was
Yeah.
just like absolutely bananas.
Yeah, and the reason why I ask this is because there's like a nature versus nurture
Yeah.
thing where you like break off, and that age seems to be around 12 and 13, where you get your
Yeah.
own musical autonomy.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say this is because when I was growing up, my family, for the majority, would listen to merengue, bachata, and salsa, and that was it. And sometimes it'd sprinkle in a little, Mexican music. I don't know what the genre is, but it's like very slow ballad type Mexican music. And then that was all my surroundings. That's all I knew. And then I started branching out into reggaeton,
Okay.
which is very electronic influence, even if it's not apparent.
Yeah, it's loops.
Yeah,
It's all sampled
It's all
loops.
loops, samples, and like a lot of like electronic sample libraries. Like the
sure.
violins are not actual.
They also
violins.
the musicians utilize a lot of the electronic synth instruments, like
Mm-hmm.
the classic Casio keyboard and shit.
Yeah, exactly. And because of that, when I heard that, I started branching off into other electronic music, and that's how I got into trance. And then from trance, I got into harder electronic music, like
Hardcore, hardstyle, yeah.
Exactly. So that journey that I had from like Spanish, typical merengue, salsa, and then reggaeton was the bridging point from like me to electronic music.
The nexus here we're talking about is technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's the technology that really like made a person like me or you find the same point. It was the technology, the ability. It's like, wait, you're saying with these machines, like we could do the work that these like wooden instruments can do, like, and that's what really opens your world. You're like, holy fuck, this is actually insane. Even as a DJ, you're like, you guys are just like mixing tape decks and looping the shit, and like, it's crazy. It's nuts.
It is. And it's like I sometimes I wish I was there to experience it, but the more I look at it, and I was like, no, I was at the right place at the right time.
You want to hear something funny? You know
What?
what put me onto ethnic music? Like, really made me appreciate it.
What?
It wasn't just one like not like cultural music, and it wasn't just one like thing, like one type of music like reggaeton that really like opened my eyes. What I really what made me understand it was when I was a young man, probably like around 19, very early 20s or some shit. Was the sexuality involved with like ethnic music, with like those kinds of like whether it's Arabic or like Latin beats or some shit, whatever, African. It was the way like women would move to those specific kind of beats, and that's what made me like, it's like, oh, that's how you get dirty on the floor, there's like, because like up until then it was all clean, it was all
Yeah.
PG, it was all like, yeah, I love this like insane like synth heavy shit, blah blah blah. But it wasn't until like I would see a DJ drop some like doom, 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 and then see how the ladies move to that. I was like, oh, okay, so I get it. That's why it's the appeal to. So when the rave music, like to me, what was really good, that still had that innocent like video game minded like like the synth heavy shit, but
Right.
also had the ability to just switch over to like where the ladies would be like, yeah, just get dirty with it, like. That's like what opened my eyes to like more ethnic music. Like I was like, yep, this is it. This is why it's good. Like,
And it's so funny that you mentioned that. No, I'm good, thank you. I was at I forgot where I was, but I was somewhere in the city, and there was like a worker, and I was waiting online to get something, and I was tapping out like a traditional reggaeton beat, like
yeah.
and like I kept doing it over and over, and then the girl looked at me and was like, wow, that's so crazy, that makes me want to dance. I'm like, what? It's the power of the rhythm that makes people want to dance that way.
Yo, all right, can I ask you something? You ever been to a dancing club in Japan?
No.
Okay,
What
fine.
the club that I've been to was not a dancing
All right,
club.
you ever been to? Do you remember the year your first rave was on?
My first rave.
Yeah, the year.
It might have been 2015 or 2016. I remember I took a picture. Darren Styles and Gammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took a
Fucking
picture
love
with
Daniel.
them. Yeah, I love those guys
All right,
so
so
much.
describe your first rave while I pee, and I'm definitely gonna hear it when I edit this episode. But just do it. Go.
Okay, so I think it was at Webster Hall, if I'm not mistaken. And it was literally in a fucking basement. Like, I don't even know how these guys like came all the way over here from like the UK to the States just to perform in a basement. But like, they didn't give a fuck. They were there to fucking tear up the dance floor. And I remember it was hot as fuck for some reason. It was like in the middle of summer. And these guys were just fucking jamming it. And I was surprised that, because like there's usually not these type of artists, like, you know, UK hardcore in the States. Like, where's the market for it? Like, where's the following for it? But, you know, because of people like you and also Anissa, our friend, they like hardcore. And these guys come here and they'll play at a fucking basement. And it's like, wow. That like wowed me when I first saw them. Like, they don't give a fuck. They'll come wherever the fucking party's at. And I just remembered having so much fun listening to the songs that I listened to,
Listen,
and they fucking performed in a DJ set.
I'll say this much: like, I've been to punk shows. You know, that's what kids. That was the cool things for kids. For me, as a teenager, I was like, this is what cool kids do. They go to shows and they whatever. They get drunk. You know, like after the show, like, you know, like 10 or 11 p.m. But then I went to a rave, and I'm like, this is where you're telling me we do sketchy ecstasy pills, and we stay up till like 4 or 5 a.m. and then we just like listen to like banging ass tunes and just dance our asses off, and then we get laid afterwards. It's awesome. You know, like, I'm so with this way harder, and like, yeah, it was like way more adult partying, and it was way more intense than a lot of what I knew adults did. You know, I was like, this is
people are there because they want to be there and they fucking love it.
There's, and it's like, also, you can't have any kind of other experience. There was nothing else like it.
Right. Yeah, and I remember when I first went to like one of those Outlaws, I thought that was pretty fucking sick.
Yeah.
That was like, oh wait, you guys could just do this and just make your own fucking rave? Hell yeah, I'm fucking down.
Yeah,
but
there's risks. You
yeah,
know, like,
there's definitely risks.
That's what makes it enticing. That's what makes it awesome and badass, is the risks involved with doing such sketchy illegal activities.
As with anything that is considered illegal.
But I don't know. I mean, it's like I don't even really care so much about raving like that anymore. Now it's like I feel like I took what I needed from it as an artist, and now it's time for me to like continue doing my own shit. And like I think I'm on the right path, because like we were talking about this in the car when I was like, yo, I think like what we're doing with like more tactile expressions of, you know, the music is the way to go. Because like, don't get me wrong, like I don't think like padding out on an MPC is anything new. I know mad dudes who like been doing this for years and decades. I'm just saying, I feel like in my immediate circles, as far as trends go, like I don't know too many people doing this, especially like those DJs. Like I don't really see them padding out a lot, and like I feel myself like kind of like, you know, like kind of inching above like, you know, the average, and I'm like, oh shit, I see, because like now it's getting to a point where there's less and less people that I could like look up to for advice. I'm like,
right,
none of these dudes are doing this, you know, like none of them are really like figuring out how. They're just they're stuck on their fucking CDJs,
right?
And it's like, dude, fuck you, like, you know, like grow up, like, you know, like grow the fuck up. And I love DJing, I'll always love DJing, but at some point you got to just grow the fuck up. First of all, get the fuck behind a DAW. Learn how that shit works. If you're a DJ and you don't know how a DAW works, I'm sorry, I'm not going to respect you. I'm never going to look at you as an equal. I'm really not. Can you blame me? Like, honestly?
I mean, at this point, you should know how music is made and how it
like, if you're a DJ
a
and you don't know a DAW, to me, you're just going to be no better than like playing bar mitzvahs or a fucking like stupid fucking high school prom night or some shit. That's all you are. You're not a real music person. But if you're a DJ and you know like Ableton and you could spank that shit like your bitch, then yeah, I'll have a lot of respect for you, because you're able. That means, you know, you're more controlled on by intention, not by ability. Like,
what about the flip side? What about musicians?
What about musicians?
They don't know the technology. They don't know how a DAW works, but then, you know, they can kill it on whatever instrument they're on.
See, I know the answer I'm supposed to give, but when I really think about it, I'm like, I don't know too many musicians anymore that don't give any fucks about like at least a bit of the quality of the audio they record. And like every musician I know, even the most like stupidest, most talented ones, even them, like the most Luddite ones, even they understand like the quality and the dynamic range of a WAV file when it gets like put along a spectrum like spectrum analyzer like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like even they could see a waveform and be like, yeah, you know, that's what I want my song to look like. You know,
Right.
like I think we've just evolved too much to the point where you can't be a musician these days without at least considering it, because like you play music, you're like, can I record it? You know, like, and then if you think, can I record it? It's like, well, how do I record it? Do you got a cell phone? It's like, yeah. Whip out your cell phone and just hit record and then just play. And that's going to be a waveform. It's like, well, can I make it better? It's like, yeah, you got to put it on your computer. Well, how do I put it on my computer? You got a USB cable? It's, you know, it's like, it just works itself out.
I see. Yeah. There's just a lot, and I don't think there's enough people to like bridge that gap, the musical and the technological side.
I think it's because I did it. I fucking gapped it myself. I was like, you know what?
And not everyone's you. You know?
Yeah, but I worked with a lot less. You know, it's not like I'm a particular genius or anything with anything. I'm just literally someone. I'm just another fucking scrot like everyone else, and I've managed to figure it out. And I think that's what I'm saying. It's not about like ability. It's really about intention. It's like, do you really want to figure this out? Then you're not practicing like innate ability. You're practicing diligence and willful intent. You gotta. That's what I tell people. That's what I think not everyone has. Is not everyone has the willful intent. Do you want this?
There has to be a desire.
Yeah. Do you really fucking want this? Do you want this to the point where you're willing to do what most people aren't just to understand it better? You know, like, are you willing to go to take that extra step? It's like, and because that's just going to automatically put you into a position of, why do you want to do this? For most people, they could easily say, it just seems fun. It just seems like a hobby. Other people will say, this is what I want out of life, and I think it's going to make me millions of dollars and, you know, make me famous. Other people will say, I just think the craft itself is so beautiful. I could devote my life to this and I'll be fine and content. You know, like, it's, everyone's got their own reason, you know?
Right.
So, like, at the end of the day, it's just willful intent. It's like, how badly do you want this, and for what reason do you want it, and how bad are you willing to go for the reason that you want it? Like are you willing to go that far? You know, like to reach your goal, which could be fame, fortune, glory, understanding. Whatever your goal is, are you willing to go that extra step to meet it? You know?
Is it hard work?
Yeah, it's hard work because it takes time and energy.
Mm-hmm. For sure, definitely it takes.
I know when I make tracks, like I brag all the time. It's like, yo, it took me 48 hours to make this, but those 48 hours were grueling. Like that's literally like nights lost of sleep. I would literally stay up and then I'll be like, oh shit, it's 6. I gotta get up in 2 hours for work. It's literally that. No, I'm not even kidding. It would be that bad. Like that's how I make the songs I make, and it's not healthy. Which is why I always strive to be better. Which is why I always try to make my ability better, because I don't want to kill myself over my art. You know, like I want mastery. I don't want, you know, like profound skill. I want mastery. I want to be able to just shit out a fucking good song if I want to, whenever I want to. And I'm just that good at this, you know, like, because then I don't have to stress about it and fucking kill myself, because I want to be healthy. You know, like my willful intent is to be able to skillfully create great music, but in a healthy, mentally healthy way. I don't want to be like these fucking assholes who just do drugs and like fuck like STD-ridden hookers and shit. You know, like.
No, for sure.
I want to be a master. I don't want to be a famous fucking rock star. I want to be a master.
Who the fuck wants to be famous anyway? Just give me the money.
I want to be a guru. You know, like, and I don't even care about the money, because money I realize I could get in many other ways.
Money's temporary.
But if there's one thing that you can't, it's just that skill. It's just having that. It's
nobody can take that away from you. That skill that is
like
earned.
People could brag harder than you. They could have more money than you. They could put more into their advertising. But then when you just release a stupid fucking video clearly showcasing that you're just better than them, nobody could take that away. You know, it's like I've seen like, you know, people like put a lot into their like theatrical presentation of their like production, and then it just feels good. And I don't do it, but it feels good knowing it's like, I could put this out. That's just way better. And it's like it's a good feeling. It's like to know that I got it, you know, like I got that much at least. But I also know the danger of ever being satisfied. Yeah. So you got to always be hungry. It's like, I want more though. Like I want to do more. Like
it's because people get way too comfortable where you know, where they're at.
Yep.
They don't have the drive to want to.
And for me, it's like, I'm not used to comfortable. Comfortable is not comfortable for me. Like it's just not. Like it's really not. Like it's fucked up. Like you put me in a bed, like in a hotel, and I'll end up like sleeping on the floor with the pillow. You know, I'm like, it's fucked up. It's really fucked up. But I think like I like it. You know, it's like, it's nice.
Yeah.
It got me to a nice place. But I should like start, like, I'm trying to enjoy life more, because like I'm in my 30s now, so it's now time for me to like really.
You got to hone down in what it is that you actually want out of life.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm doing a bad job, you know.
Yeah. As long as you're striving to improve, that's all that what
Oh, hell
anybody
yeah.
could ask for.
Dude, 100%. I know it's important. I mean, it's. I mean, remember, I'm the one hounding you to like get together and do music and shit, not the other way around. And like, and I don't mind being that force. It's just like I got to do it because, see, if I could do it alone, I would, but I can't. You know, I gotta at least like interact with other musicians and jam with them and produce with them and all that shit. Because music is ultimately a collaborative process. You know, ultimately. So I got
Even if it is by yourself, you're still collaborating with all these different sounds and incorporating them into one musical
also showing
piece.
people is a collaboration in and of itself. You know, you have to like show people, you're getting them involved. Yeah. I can't believe you like you do music professionally now though. Like, see, my worry is though, because you do it as a job, it's like you don't afford yourself time to do it as just something like you want to do as your own projects and shit.
Well, here's the deal. 2022 was a bad year for me personally, so I didn't do anything musical.
Oh, so this is actually a good question. As a professional music sound engineer person and educator of it, how would you rate my skill level?
I need to see more of it. I don't have enough sample size. Like, I think the one song that you showed me in the car, that was pretty good. I'd say that was pretty good.
I showed you like a bunch of songs that I made, but you just don't remember it. But
Yeah, that's the one that's the one that stood out the most because that was the closest one to like an actual professional product. Like, you could put this out like on a label.
Yeah.
Like that type of deal.
All right, that's good to know. I would like for you to see the other stuff though, just so you can know that it's not an isolated incident. All right.
No.
I know what I'm doing.
I don't believe like things happen as accidents unless like it was like, something that happened in the studio, but like those were conscious decisions that you made.
Because the thing is, it's like it's different when you're not naturally talented and you had to work your way up to your skill level. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not a Naruto or a Sasuke. I'm like Rock Lee. You know,
Yeah, you gotta work hard to get there,
yeah.
and even then, sometimes you don't even get there.
It's because sometimes you could just die on the way. You know, I understand that. I know what's at stake. Like, I know it's not just something. It's not a cakewalk. And like, I despise people who treat it like that. Like, I hate that shit. Like, I openly mock them. I'm like, all right, let's see how far you get, man. Like, I shouldn't do that because some people are that talented, and I leave room for that too in my perspective. Like, yo, I know plenty of people who are just that talented and don't give two flying fucks, and I'm like, that's totally on you. I can't argue against that. Like, and I like that, the fact that there's a mystical element to it, that some people just have that like gift. It gives you something to beat. You know, you're like, all right, well, I could top that eventually.
Well, you have to have a goal to overcome.
Exactly. And gifted children are kind of cursed because they're like they're such easy targets to be treated as obstacles, you know?
I've never subscribed to that bullshit. It's like, well, you're gifted. It's like, no, you're not actually. Like, yeah.
Well, nowadays, nobody's gifted, really. Now it's all about technical ability. And technical ability, you're just never born with. Technical ability requires certain levels of education. You got to understand math to understand, like, hardware. You have to. It's just, you can't. You can't understand hardware without understanding, like, 2 + 2.
Right.
On the most fundamental level, or 1 + 1.
Yeah. You need to understand values and how to manipulate them, because that's what the hardware runs off of.
Yep, it's all binary. So that means it's math at its most basic system. And math, if you strip away numbers from math, you get logic. And that's what we're really talking about. Like, yeah, you could define computing as mathematics and binary and ones and zeros, but ones and zeros just represent logic, which is true and false. If this is true, then if this, then that. That is literally computing. If this, then that.
Exactly.
So that's beyond, I guess maybe you could say that's beyond math. You know, that's just logic.
Right.
Which could also be applied to music in a way where music can be expressed through that basic formula, you know, of if this and that. Then you could tell the computer to just send signals to the speakers, you know, like with these certain MIDI signals that trigger these fucking plugins, which are just basically virtualized synthesizers and drum samples and audio samplers. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it.
How does pussy equal mental illness? By the way, I just saw that thing.
You're gonna make me explain it.
Yeah. Explain from the top to bottom. Hard work equals pussy. As in, if you work hard, you will obtain pussy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how does one work hard to obtain pussy? I definitely know the bottom one. I am no stranger to that one.
All right.
I for sure know that one.
All right. So here's how you work hard.
All right.
So to work hard, it's not so much as something you could just do or not do. To work hard in life, it's actually more of like a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And like every journey, it starts in a familiar place. You're in a familiar place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once you're in that familiar place, you get kind of like a call to action. Like
Mm-hmm.
you realize you want something more than your familiar place. You realize your familiar place just isn't working out. Like it could be like your childhood home. It could be your high school. It could be your college. It could be your small town life. It could be your big city life. But you get a call to action. You want something more. You realize this cycle, this repetitiveness is just not doing it for me. I need purpose, right? So then you do that. And then after you get a call to action, you realize there's something you have to do. You have to go on a journey of sorts to accomplish something. You know, it could be an obstacle you have to overcome, or it could be prerequisites you have to meet, things you have to earn. Once you do that, right, you realize you can't do that until you change. Fundamentally, either change as a person or give something up. Give something up that you're used to in your life, something that you're used to doing every day, or something that you're used to getting, regularly. You have to just give it up. Give up the comfort of that like repetitiveness and fundamentally change. But then once you change, you get what you want, but it comes at a great cost. So you have overall changed. And that is hard work.
Do you know what you just described? You just described the journey of manhood from adolescence. That's
Indeed,
what you just described that.
Indeed, I did.
And I think that a lot of people just haven't had that journey.
Yeah, it's the hero's journey. And you see it in every major movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's this follows the same pattern. Let me give you a good one. Fucking Batman, The Dark Knight Rises,
Mm-hmm.
right? He starts off in a comfortable place, then comes across the Joker,
Mm-hmm.
and he tries to do the same Batman bullshit, but then fails.
Yeah.
At the point where he's supposed to fundamentally change, and he just doesn't. And because of that, the Joker gets the better of him, so the cycle repeats. Once again, the Joker gets away, and he's like, fuck, I failed, and he's back in the familiar place, just trying to protect Gotham. And the Joker strikes again. See, it's like, but he failed to pay that cost until later in the movie, he actually does. He pays, he changes, and at a terrible cost.
Yeah.
When that bitch dies or whatever.
Yeah, with that chick that was replaced by something Gyllenhaal,
Yeah.
Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Maggie Gyllenhaal. Yeah, I didn't like
It comes
her.
at a terrible cost.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, all good stories follow that what I just described. That's hard work. But what we're talking about, describe hard work, is a journey.
Mm-hmm.
What you guys have to focus on is a journey. You can't focus on that result. You got to put yourselves through. You got to knowingly, mentally and emotionally prepare yourself to go through hardship and to go through that journey. To understand more about yourself, you're gonna have to sacrifice. If you want something more than what you're already getting, you can have it, but you're gonna have to sacrifice something. You're gonna have to go through your own journey, and you're gonna lose something that's precious to you at this moment, but you're gonna get what you want, and it's gonna come at a terrible cost, but you're gonna be better for it. You're gonna be overall changed, and that's how life works. Equivalent
Sacrifice is a part of life.
Yep.
Despite people not desiring it or
Yep.
trying to avoid it as much as they can, it's just a
Yep.
part of life.
But that's how you obtain victory. Is the people willing to obtain victory, willing to sacrifice what is necessary to obtain victory.
So that's hard work. How do you get pussy out of that?
Well, the thing is, that's a rare quality. People who actually completed that rotation, that journey, it's rare. Most people pussy out. Most people, that's what capitalism does. Capitalism is all about derailing you from that journey. It's all about detracting you. It's all about making you not complete that cycle. Capitalism exists to constantly hold you up, to fuck you up. It's the enemy. The reason why it does it isn't because it hates you. It does it because as an individual, every time you complete that rotation of development, you become stronger, better, less controllable, less manageable. Capitalism doesn't need that.
No, they need manageable assets.
They need domesticated dumb fucks who never completed their cycles. They need dumb fucks who just constantly tripped up and repeating their same shit because you make a better worker that way.
Yep.
You become satisfied with less, you become less of a threat. And it makes sense. I don't knock it. Like, yeah, the world probably needs idiots. It's sad to say and fucked up, but it's true. And they need idiots to do shitty jobs.
They're cogs.
Yeah.
They're cogs of a greater machine that needs to function.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It's sad, and I don't agree with it. I don't think we have to have that, but that's like a whole nother discussion.
Right, yeah.
What I'm saying is that, like, capitalism is the enemy, and that's what you have to overcome to, like, complete your cycles. You know, like, you have to complete those cycles. You have to go through your shit to understand more shit about yourself, to tell the truth. You can lie to whoever you want to, but you just can't lie to yourself. That's the worst thing you could do.
You know what I've understand over the years? Lying is just a tool to get what you want. A tool that is frail at times.
So how could you benefit at all from lying to yourself?
It depends. Well, okay, that's a different question. But I don't think you should lie to yourself.
Never.
Because
technical error.
You're not gonna get what
it has
you
nothing
want.
to do with morality.
I know.
Yeah, it's
no.
If you lie to yourself, like, here's my quote. I always say, a bad man will get further in life knowing he's a bad man than thinking he's a good man. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a bad guy, you're going to get further knowing you're a bad guy.
Yeah, you play up to your strengths.
Yeah,
but if you continuously lie to yourself,
then you're going to fuck yourself up. You're going to do the wrong thing, and you're going to like, literally, objectively, materially fuck yourself over.
No, I don't see any benefit from lying to yourself.
Yes, you have to. You have to. So that's why, when people tell me, it's like, oh, they're in a position in life where they don't know what they're supposed to do. What I always tell them is, I want you to sit back and ask yourself, what are you not allowing yourself to see? Like, we know the answers, like, I say this too. Like, I'm like, we all know the fucking answers. Like, we all know we're supposed to eat healthy. We all know we're supposed to get plenty of exercise. We all know we're supposed to get plenty of sleep. We all know we're not supposed to do too much drugs and not to drink too much. We all know this, to stay away from shitty people. Like, we know the right answers. It's just a matter of doing it.
This is so funny because I went through this with my sister, my oldest sister. She said, "Oh, I'm not gonna do this because I'm trying to lose weight."
Because we all know the right answers.
You've been trying to lose weight for the last 20 years and you haven't done it.
Yeah.
And this is something that I tell other people. Like, if you, as a human being, want to do something, you will do it and you will make the sacrifices necessary to get that goal.
True.
If I want to drink beer, I will spend the money in my pocket and I will buy those beers.
Because I want to do it.
Because I want to do it.
I'm willing to do this detrimental thing to myself. Yeah. 100%.
I'm willing to walk outside to the bodega and go to the bodega and buy the beer. If you say for 20 years that you want to lose weight and you haven't done a lick of it, you don't want to do it. You don't want to do it. Yep. That's just a reality. Yep. It doesn't matter how many times you say I'm going to lose weight or you're going to lie to yourself. You don't want to do it because if you wanted to do it, you would have done it already.
And this is, I'm sorry, but like, so no amount of logic is going to force that wanting to do it. What you need is something like more aesthetic. You need something more primal, and you need something more like beautiful. And I'm going to go back to anime. Anime can teach you to build that desire. Anime teaches you how to be the shonen protagonist starting from day one as a piece of shit. It's like, and then learning how to like make progress. Like good anime teaches you, like, if you put the work in, you may not get exactly where you want to be, but you will face challenges. And if you want it bad enough, you will face them. And you will overcome. And you will be better than you were. And that's why it's like some anime is good. It's a force of like great power and like
It is very powerful. And I will say that despite whether people feel about Dragon Ball as like an entity or a series, the one thing that it has not missed were the stories that they put and the life lessons that they put in it. And of course, if you just see it, so cool fights, but you're missing the point of what the author is trying to show you. It's like the journey of becoming a man.
Yeah.
But it's not only that, he has detailed things. And I remember specifically 2 episodes where one episode, it was like most recent in the Dragon Ball Super series, where what's his name? Krillin was having like a mental block. Like, he was just so distraught that he couldn't compete with Goku because Goku's a Saiyan and Krillin is just a human.
Yeah.
But
he's the most powerful human in the world.
Exactly. And he doesn't see that because he's always comparing himself to Goku.
That hunger. He's got the hunger that pushed him.
And he literally fought demons. Like they had a dream sequence where all the old villains were in his nightmare and he was fighting them and he couldn't defeat them because they were way more powerful than him. And if you remember, most of those villains were just they were beat by Goku or Vegeta.
Yeah.
He was just like a sideline character. So he had to go through that mental block and defeat his own, I don't know, his shadow. And when he got over it, he was able to show Goku that he was worth putting in the tournament of power, that he was a valuable asset, that he was just more than just, you know, a human being. He was the strongest.
He was
human
more
being.
than the weakest member of the Z Squad. He
And
was
he's
the
not
strongest
even-
human being in the world.
He's
Like,
not even the weakest member of the Z Squad. That's the
Yamcha.
funny thing.
Yamcha's the weakest member of the Z Squad.
Yeah. And then the second one was when...
But Yamcha's still the best baseball player in the world. That's why he
Yeah,
represents the Dominicans in the whole series. He is the best baseball player in the Dragon Ball Z universe.
For sure.
Nobody beats Yamcha at baseball.
For sure, definitely. And then the second thing that I wanted to talk to is like when Vegeta was so worried about not that he couldn't achieve being a Super Saiyan, and he saw Goku do it flawlessly.
Yeah.
And he's like, he was so hung up about it, and yet one day he just fucking snapped and he just didn't give a fuck. And what happened? He broke through his limit and he became a Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
Like these are life lessons that some people miss because all they see is, oh, you know, cool anime fights and fighting and this and that. No, anime has strong lessons that you can like learn from. And it's important because we don't really have that in today's media for the most part.
No,
we don't really
it's
have
all
anything.
shitty. It's all shitty, discouraging stuff.
Oh, shit, my bad.
So you want to hear something? Yeah. All right. First of all, with Dragon Ball, one of my favorite parts about Dragon Ball, one of my favorite lessons that are imparted, and it's not even like explicitly explained, but it's the fact that Goku wasn't really embraced by humanity at first, even as a little kid. Like even before Dragon Ball Z, like if you go all the way back to Dragon Ball, like they all kind of treated him like a freak, and yet ultimately he became the people that fought for everyone at the end of the day. He was the one, despite being treated as, because he was an alien, force, and it makes sense to treat him like shit because he was literally sent there to destroy everyone, and all he needed was one human to show him love, and that was Grandpa Gohan. And Grandpa Gohan also taught him how to fuck people up, but that's like that was really cool. Grandpa Gohan was like the true OG of the Dragon Ball universe. In my opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then like the whole Muten Roshi where he like trained at the Turtle Island and shit with Krillin.
Yeah.
And he had somebody to like go through that journey with him.
But the thing about it's funny that we use the word lessons in terms of what anime provides because they're really not lessons, right? It's like because lessons are more so something like, you know, you could logically make sense of, whereas anime teaches you things that are kind of not like logical. It's more so it'll teach you to do stupid things, but you'll always feel good about it because, like, for example, always stand up for your friends. Logically, you shouldn't always stand up for your friends, but spiritually, if you do always stand up for your friends because you actually believe in them, you know, then you can't go wrong. Like, you know, like good things may not be guaranteed to come to you, but you'll always feel good about it. You know, like
your heart's in the right place, and it's like, yeah,
that takes courage, and
does.
that's why it's a higher form. I think it's still a higher way to be.
Only the most cowardice person in the world can show the most courage, because they're the only ones that have the most to gain in courage. Like if somebody's already brave, what are they going to gain in courage? They're already brave.
Oh yeah, that's true too. That's when it becomes the most novel, I guess. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So no, I'm super into anime. I think certain anime is a force of good. I would want my kids to grow up on like Naruto or some shit.
Definitely, there's a lot to be earned from watching these shows, and it's not just at a surface level. It's a little deeper.
Yeah,
not too deep. We're not talking.
No. It's
but it's enough to gain sustenance and knowledge from.
It's better than a lot of other shit that's comparable.
Yeah,
you know, it's like some other shit out there is just like absolute garbage. It's like, dude, this is stupid.
Not making my kid watch Gone Girl or anything like that. Not knocking against Gone Girl.
But you know what? I'm not even knocking Western animation. Certain Western animation is actually very, very deep and awesome. Like
sometimes, yeah.
Rocko's Modern Life, like Nickelodeon shows were generally like.
Oh yeah, they were sick. They were dope, and it's like.
I think there were evil shows though. There were some fucked up shows. Like, did you have Cartoon Network growing up?
Yeah.
Did you watch Cow and Chicken?
Yeah, that was a weird ass.
That was
show.
a fucked up show. That was a messed up show.
Why were they like there? I forgot. Like the cow was like at a doctor's, and they were talking about. I don't know if it's OBGYN. I don't know. It was just a weird show, and I remember the the joke was like the devil character was looking at the camera.
It's
and
an
I was
evil show.
It's just fucking weird, you know.
It was an evil show. It was an uncomfortable show.
Yeah.
You know what? But some shows were weird, but they were good. Like they made you feel weird, but they were good. Like Hey Arnold. That show made me feel weird, but it was a good show.
It was a good show. Yeah. I was really envious about him having that whole room in the attic. I was like, damn, my room's like a fucking box, and this dude has like a whole attic to himself. That's so dope.
You know who I was envious of?
Who?
Eliza Thornberry.
Eliza Thornberry? Oh, the chick that went on like safari trips.
The Wild Thornberries.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was she had a sick life.
Yeah, you get to go out there in the
talk
wild.
to animals and shit. Like what the fuck?
I wish that was me.
Yeah, right. That's a good life.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was also people like the Rugrats. The Rugrats is still like top 10.
Oh yeah, that's definitely one of like the best animations for like children's cartoon at the time.
Yep. Rugrats was definitely really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then there were a lot of like not so good shows.
Like what?
I'm trying to think of like not so good animations, like really bad ones.
To me, when I think of like bad animation, I think of like those weird Adult Swim shows that, you know, they might have a cult following, but I didn't see the humor in it.
Do you like Moral Oral?
Okay, that's the clay animation one, right?
Yeah.
I didn't really watch that one. I like, it's like I don't even have a good or a bad opinion about it. I just didn't watch it.
Do you like the Oblongs?
That one looked pretty cool. Yeah.
What about home movies?
I despise home movies.
Okay, here we go.
That's the one that when it came to mind, that was the one I was like, what is this show? This shit is stupid.
You know what I realized home movies was? It was basically like podcasts. Like it's not like, it didn't seem like they animated it and they had the voice actors try to match. It seemed like they were just like on microphones, like
you
doing
know
what we're doing.
That
and
makes
then they
a
were
lot
just
of sense.
drawing over it, you know, like.
Yeah, they were just talking and then they just happened to have
animate
like
the
animation.
bullshit over it. Yeah, that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because it didn't feel like a cohesive show to me.
You know what? It's interesting that we're on this era and this specific thing. You know what I think made was the early format of podcasting? You ever see Space Ghost?
I was just thinking about that. Like, what the fuck?
That shit kind of flows like a podcast.
Yeah,
it really does.
It is a podcast.
Yeah,
because they have a guest over, and then they have Space Ghost, and then they have the two.
They got like Bill Nye, Moby.
Yeah. They had some random meteorologist saying like, "Is this real?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's real." Like, you know, I know what the weather is tomorrow, and they're messing with him. But it's like that was like one of those first shows that was like, it was not a talk show.
But it was more a dialogue show.
Yeah, it was more about the dialogue because all they really do, they didn't animate anything really. No. I mean, they did animate some things, but a lot of that footage was already stock footage from the actual Space Ghost cartoon, which most people don't know about. They know Space Ghost because of the talk show part. Yeah. But the actual cartoon of it was like, you know, I guess it didn't do very well. So like, hey, let's just reuse these assets and make a new show out of it. And then, you know, boom, there you go. Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Oop, I keep fucking tugging on the mic shit.
No, that really is. And like that was like a thing before podcasting was like a big thing, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like interesting how like that kind of influenced the whole generation of people who were willing to like you know, record that type of dialogue. Mm-hmm. That awkward like
it was so fucking weird.
Yeah.
And it's like I truly didn't get it. I mean, I was like adolescent kid.
Now so, I get it though. I watch that shit now. I'm like, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense. Like I understand exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, but as a kid, I was like not about it. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. I want like drama and shit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fucking Space Ghost.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Yeah, it really was just a fucking podcast. It just had him, and it's funny because it's the same voice actor who did the Space original Ghost cartoon, and yet they just hired him. Hey, you just you know, go nuts.
Just read the dialogue. You know, like they edited it and cut it and made Space Ghost say all the stuff. Yeah.
Like, I don't think he knows who Moby is in his universe.
It was nobody cares, Moby. Yeah. Nobody cares. That was a pretty golden moment, I think. Mm-hmm. So you're not into the. It got weirder after that, like Tim and Eric.
Yeah, and see, for me, Tim and Eric, I know they have some funny things, but as a whole, it was just fucking weird, and I don't like personally those weird shows.
Yeah.
like home movies. Space Ghost Coast to Coast isn't that weird because they're using like again the stock
Okay, I
animation.
got a big one. Did you like Metalocalypse?
I've seen a little bit of it. I would rather watch that than
That's such a good show. It's a
than the
really
other three.
good show.
Yeah,
I love
and I know
Metalocalypse.
and I know that type of humor is a little weird, but I feel like I'm more connected. to that.
It's very music oriented, like
Yeah.
musician oriented. Like they have a lot of like inside like riffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had their there was like a blues episode where every song was like about a train.
Wow.
It was awesome.
Don't they have like a clown that does cocaine on the show?
Yeah. Roxo the
Yeah.
cocaine clan or something
Yeah.
like that.
That show, I would probably enjoy that show today.
What about Robot Chicken?
Robot Chicken was very weird, but I think that like the bits or the sketches that they did was fine. Like the animation was obviously weird because it's like claymation or whatever.
No, it's action figure.
Oh,
like,
action
yeah,
figures,
yeah.
right? Yeah, and then you know what it is? They actually put like Play-Doh on their mouths,
Yeah.
and then they animate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. It's that. That show, it wasn't that bad to me. I think that could fly, but home movies, no.
I was not a
don't
fan
like-
of home movies.
No. Mm-mm.
Do you like American Dad?
American Dad can be funny at times, but it's just like
Oh,
the
shit.
Seth MacFarlane shit is just like overplayed.
You want to hear something funny? You know,
What?
like you know how like we watch anime and like a lot of Americans would like mistake like anime for Japanese, like how Japanese people are.
Mm-hmm.
In Japan, it's like for like that, but with, like King of the Hill and like The Simpsons.
Oh, everybody watches The Simpsons in America, right?
Yeah. Out here, like you know how we debate anime. It's like how they debate like The Simpsons and King of the Hill. They're like, no,
Oh,
Dale-san
shit.
is clearly not crazy. And honestly, it's like,
Oh man, that's funny.
yeah.
They that reminds me. I saw this thing about how like Westerners or Americans always assume that the only Japanese comedy is like slapstick, and like people go there and like misconstrue information. It's like no, we have like an entirely different set of comedy that's played through duos. It's like one is like the reactionary person like physically,
Yeah.
and the other person is like the one doing the story. And they have a word for it, but I can't remember. It's like the only reason people don't understand this type of comedy is because you don't know the culture of Japan in order to understand this comedy. Like in Japan, in Japanese culture, a lot of people ride bikes. So this guy did a bit about how they stole the belt on his bike and he was freaking out about it. And it's like, this wouldn't fly to an American because you don't know what the fuck it's like in Japan for the most part.
True.
Like you don't understand that humor because you don't know the culture of everybody just riding bikes
And stealing belts from each other.
and stealing belts and bells and shit, whatever. So the thing that people understand the most is the slapstick. Why? Because it's physical and you can see it, and you don't need to understand Japanese culture to get it. A guy hits somebody's ass, fucking roaring laughter. They understand that. And on the flip side, what Japanese people understand the most from like Western comedy is Mr. Bean.
Oh my god.
Because you don't need Mr. Bean is physical.
Yeah.
You don't. He barely. I don't think he talks in the show.
Apparently,
If
he was
not-
like the king of British comedy.
Yeah, because like it was fucking visibly easy to understand. Mr. Bean did some shit. He make a funny face, and boom, you get a fucking laughter.
Absurd reactions.
Yeah.
To things. Yeah. Shit, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Bean's biggest appeal was that he's universal. No, because I've literally watched people in their they're very established stand up comedians. They would all, especially from Britain, they would lament about how like, they would put so much into their craft, and you'd have the most talented acts coming out of the UK, and Mr. Bean is still like number one. Imagine like that's like drained Wojak. It's like, oh, Mr.
Yeah.
Bean came out with this new special, and you're like, great, like imagine like that's fucked up.
I mean, that's what it is because
Everyone
the most
understands
universal.
Mr. Bean, yeah.
Yeah, you
Not
don't need
everyone
to-
understands the highbrow jokes that
Yeah.
British comedians would pump out, but they understand an hour of Mr. Bean going,
Yeah,
like-
easily digestible. Now, I'm not saying that it's better or worse to have that kind of content. It's just that when you're making, highbrow shit, you have to understand what your audience is and who's going
yeah,
to
but
be
Mr. Bean
for.
is so lowbrow. It's like, it's like you said. It's like words don't even do it.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, it's just it is what it is.
That's just the nature. Like everybody understands. If they have eyes, they can understand the facial reactions of somebody versus understanding, cultural references that you're speaking. They might not even speak the same language or live in the same country. It's just more digestible.
You know what things don't go together, which I hate when
What?
people try to make them go together?
What?
Raves and food.
Why would you have food at a rave? I don't get it.
Music festivals.
Oh, well, those, I don't really. Well, to be fair, I haven't been in one.
You never been to a music festival?
I've been to Lollapalooza. Whatever.
Okay, there's food at
Okay.
Lollapalooza. So you ever have a hot girl like get close to her and then she's like, "Hey baby, sorry I had the onion chili garlic hot dog," but and you're like, "It's okay, I'm good." Like you're still hot.
Bro, okay, no. I have not felt that experience. And I'm thankful I have not because I've seen some shit. Yeah, but no, I've been to Lollapalooza and they do have like
And
food
if everyone's on
stands.
drugs and they eat chili dogs, it's like, oh no, that's
Bro,
not a good thing.
yeah.
Like,
We-
people have accidents, It's like,
Yeah, and that line to the porta potties
yep,
is long.
yep. It
Oh
gets a
my
little
God.
messy.
Yeah. So they did like I saw like a lot of women dress up for Lollapalooza. Like, they had like the rave outfits.
Yeah.
But the thing is like not every music that not all music that was played there was like rave music. It was like R&B.
Cool.
Some of it is more instrumental, soulful. And then they had DJs there. So it's like, like what the
Sounds
fuck is
terrible.
going on? I enjoyed it because
I mean, it was wild, probably.
no, it was wild. Oh my God, it was like a sea of white people.
Oh,
I've
nice.
never seen so many white people at
beautiful
one place.
white women everywhere.
Not all of them, but
Some not so beautiful, yeah.
not all of them.
But some very beautiful, And you're like,
But it
"Ooh,
was
yeah."
it was so jarring to see a sea of like any people anywhere.
Yeah,
And I
just
was
a mob,
holy
like a wave of flesh.
It felt like an ocean.
Yeah.
Like there was just so many people.
A
And
wave of
I will
flesh.
tell you something. I don't know why this keeps happening to me, but I keep meeting people from the internet in person.
Yeah.
And I'll explain. It was like unintended meetings.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I used to play a video game, right? And there was this guy that I used to play a video game with. I met him at Lollapalooza.
Oh shit.
And I saw him and I picked him out of the crowd. Remember, there is a sea of people.
and you were like, "Yo, I think that's the
Wait
guy
a
that
minute,
plays
are you
video-"
Bernard? It's like, holy shit, it is. And it was like, and I met him for the first time. And this isn't the first time this has happened, where I've like coincidentally met somebody that I knew of the internet, but they were like nowhere near me. But at the time, he lived in Chicago and Lollapalooza was in Chicago, so we just happened to meet at the right time.
That's what music
But-
festivals are for, man.
Yeah. So it's like I would have never met him in New York if he was just randomly crossing a street. Like the lines just didn't connect, but it did for that exact moment. Because I could have been on the other side of the park, and that's exactly what I was doing. I was going to this far side, and he was going to this far side. But at that very right moment, he was in the middle, and I was in the middle, and I saw him, and I called him out. I was like, "Hey, are you Bernard?" He's like, "Yeah, it's me." He's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
and it
oh,
was such a
shit.
fucking crazy experience, like meeting somebody from the internet that you had no intention of meeting. Like not because you didn't want to, just because you were just not at the right place.
That's why music festivals are a magical place to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now you got a lot more Asian people than just all white people going to these things.
Yeah, well, not in Chicago. Chicago is still pretty white. But I did enjoy my experience in Lollapalooza, and it's because I chose the artists that I wanted to see. Because it's like
Yeah, you got to
it's-
do your schedule.
Yeah,
You got to
exactly.
do your date. It's like I'm here for 3 days. I got to figure out which ones I want to see in those 3 days. Yeah.
Mhm, exactly. But
I
it,
know,
it is
but-
a fun experience, so I definitely wouldn't trade it for anything.
Hold on, let me check the time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we are at about an hour and 20 minutes. So I think we're about ready to sign off, eat some food, and then do some music. Thanks, guys, for listening. Hopefully, we finish something by now, by tonight, and it'll be attached to this episode. Good night.
Good night, everyone.